Hello, and welcome to your field study. Before we get started on your grade specific and Georgia specific field study, we're going to take a look at monuments and architecture around the world. There are numerous monuments around the world that we recognize, and I'm going to pull 4 of them that you probably recognize with specific locations. But before we get started, let's talk for a moment. Around the world, there are many big monuments. They might be sculptures or they might be architecture. And there are many reasons why people make this art and why these pieces of art are located outside. Take a moment and think about those. Think about, why do you think we put some artwork outside? Why do you think we have artwork where people can see it the most? Now let's look at some of America's big monuments, including America's most famous statue, the Statue of Liberty. The Statue of Liberty was dedicated in New York City in October 28, 1886. It was designed by Frederick August Bartholdi, but it was created by Gustav Eiffel. And yes, you recognize that name, I'm sure. The statue itself is 151 feet and 1 inches tall, or about 46 meters. But from the base, the foundation of the pedestal, all the way to the tip, it doubles. It goes up to 305 feet and 1 inch, or 93 meters. The Statue of Liberty is arguably one of the most recognizable American icons. Most people around the world, even if they don't know where America's capital is, they'll recognize the Statue of Liberty. Next, we have the Eiffel Tower in Paris, France. Another landmark, famous location. The Eiffel Tower was constructed for 2 years from 1887 to 1889 to be the entrance to the World's Fair in Paris. It was named after the engineer Gustave Eiffel, whose team designed and built it. It is 1,063 feet tall, or 324 meters tall, which makes it about the same size, a little bit more than an 80-story building, and is the tallest structure in Paris. Again, this is a very famous landmark or icon. Most people would recognize this as being a French thing, and they would be able to tell you that it is located in Paris, even if they might not know that Paris is the capital of France. Next, we have the Great Sphinx in Giza, Egypt. The Great Sphinx. While it is impossible to know who built the Sphinx because of its age, it is generally believed to represent the pharaoh Khafre. It is believed to be 4,500 years old. It measures 240 feet long from the back to the front, and then 66 feet tall from the top of the head down to the bottom. And you can see in some of these pictures, especially if we go back one, it is located near the pyramids, and then I wanted to put these pictures in here so you could see how close the pyramids are to a city. Now we have the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco, California. Construction started in 1933 and it ended in 1937. Before that, there had been a ferry service, which means that there was a boat that would carry people across the bay. It was headed by a man named Joseph Strauss. The height is 246 feet tall at its biggest, and while the whole bridge is 1.7 miles, there is only 0.79 miles over the water, which means there's still more land around it that's considered part of the Golden Gate Bridge. So, 4th and 5th grade, we're going to be looking at some of Georgia's public artwork. Georgia has lots of monuments, statues, murals, and more, but we are going to be focusing on artwork in the Metro Atlanta Rapid Transit Authority, or the MARTA. I took the MARTA for years when I went to college, every day up and down the North and South line to get to and from my classes. At every station, I would see the artwork that was up and down the North and South line. I'm not, unfortunately, as familiar with the East and West line, but I really like some of the pictures that I found. So let's take a look at some of the pictures that we have from the stations. The North Avenue, which is these two right here, I have to say are probably my favorites. Those are the ones I always looked forward to when I saw them. There's lots of colorful pictures on the MARTA stations, and when you get the chance, click on the links to the websites that I have provided you, and you will get to look at even more pictures, because that leads up to what your practice for today is, or your exercise for today. First, find a new page in your STEM journal and write my field study notes and the date. Second, you can write or draw this. Atlanta has hired you to create a new artwork for a station that will be built on the MARTA lines. You get to choose where in Atlanta the station is and how you would decorate the station. So, these are things you should answer. Where is your station? What is the name of your station? What kind of artwork would you include? I would also consider things like, why would you put that artwork in there? What kind of color schemes would you have? Would you want paintings or sculptures, or what would you be or what kind of artwork would be in your station? All right, guys, enjoy it.